bo Superstation Canal 90 ku edi dos fabuloso edición de Open Mind. Unda ku mas ku claros que desea boso feliz biyernes bosa welcome na nos happy hour novo style di ta junto com friends e dialogar e tema ng hopi importante de nos comunidad. Esse man aqui nós está super contento pois nós welcome também nos grupo awesome aqui de Open Minders está Elton, Bianca, mi persona, Diego e como também Zena ta welcome awe também na team great is super open-minded di Bo Superstation i Open Mind Talk Show kuta Jonah. Welcome Jonah ku join the team tame trasi e control ng di Canal 90. Well, maneko po sa akohita si Mama sa siguro uno hope great biyahe mas 1,750,000 danki pa boso following, pa like nos Facebook page, pa join nos open-minded group, pero tambe tur es nang kua hasi follow up libe tema e atuma aksyon, consciente of inconsciente nos plantun si Mia and that's the part of our job. En el momento ng aki, pa es kuno conose konsepto ina bombi ni pa e promedisyong pabo de kaso aki na open mind. Make sure bo follow nos Facebook page, drop bo like, bo follow, pabo kada up to date ku tema ng aktual kuno sa presenta tucha biyernes pabo. Como tambe follow i like bo Superstation Canal 90 pabo follow nos tambe. Live comment below live dinos live feed arriba e tema di esi mangaki. Pues tabay hibami ora ay nang tarataran.
Boa noite, Jose. Boa noite.
Hey, Elton, sorry. Boa noite.
Boa noite, Turende. Sim, like, nós vai de via prometo turcos. Boa noite, Ture, nos radio oyente, dan. Welcome na Happy Hour Nobo, ha?
Hey, hey.
Hashtag Happy Hour Nobo. Boa noite, me quero, nós vai de via, nos tópico de hoje noite está abrir nos fronteira ng Sea of No. Aruba ta klapa abrir fronteira. Kiko turhene ta pensa, nos ta klape, nos economia ta prome, nos salut ta prome, misaku turhene e foto papiando. Riba e tópico aqui, ta pesai tame nos ta escoge pa abrir e diálogo riba e tópico aqui e mita echt hoop ik curioso pa sa aqui como sa turta pensa hoje noite over the topic aqui.
Yeah, I heard it being referred to as opening the floodgates or not. You know?
Opening the
but to be honest, I don't think, there's all like streams of the coin here of, are we opening floodgates? Are we just opening up again to the world and being able to survive ultimately? And I think it's a tough job that the people making decisions in Aruba are making right now.
Yeah, it's a very tough job.
It's not the easiest thing in the world. It's
all over the world.
All over the world. We saw this. I was looking into the news this week, and then Barbados opens up. JetBlue flight comes in, and then immediately they say, no, everybody's okay, but maybe not. There were quite a few cases coming in also. Out of 200 passengers, 4 after they supposedly had tested negative, test positive. Now, is that a bad thing or not? In the end, they came in, they tested positive, but they were able to handle it. Now, the way I've been thinking about this is we've gotten at least more than 3 months now that we've been preparing. When are we going to open? How? Mm-hmm. We know that it's coming. So I think the question for me is not opening or not opening. Is are we prepared, and do we all know what we're supposed to be doing? You drive around today and you see the bars are full.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how many people we have listening around today because they're all at the bars.
Maybe they're listening.
But they're listening at the bar.
We are live on Facebook, so people are following us.
Yeah. But in the end, I think if we're able to understand what's our next step, how do we keep ourselves healthy coming into this? It's most likely inevitable that we'll have cases in here. But how are we going to handle it?
Yes. And what's our behavior, right? How are we going to behave around each other when tourists, etc., start coming in? Are we going to start acting normal? Are we going to keep the distance in mind? I think it's in the behavior as well. So.
Tayo moeilijk personalmente pa keep the distance in mind.
Say it in
social. we do this, we don't. Kung, anto, bosa, kung bosta difícil pa mi hasil. Oh my God,
Nos quebraste
bosa, ito natural,
Pero especialmente depois que botawak yung numeranda kada baha, botawak nós tem 0 caso de coronavírus, automaticamente bota pensa, ela acaba.
Todo mundo um countdown.
Saite.
Sim.
Não tem mais, que man, there we go, we can hug again, we can do everything.
But
Pero,
don't you think it's going to change when the tourists come in?
sim.
Ito ba'y cambia?
Sim, eu tenho.
Pero hinta huiverig, no? Mera amato pa senhora awe den kaya ask me da sino entrevista e non riconosce a me riconosce di hey hi, esta para letterlijk 1.5. Sabi ko kami di kumi jij bent toch van Bazaar? Nee, ja, jij bent toch moeder van? Ja, kom hier. And it was a hug party. Sí, pero que me llama, lava mi mang, me dijo, okay, a mí también. Entonces volví lava mangas, ya sobra se acaba, like, really. Pero say, no, this is familiar, so I know you guys won't have anything, so.
Sí.
Well, o sea, habri.
Sí, no,
Pero ding no está,
Sí, ito moeilijk.
Weird opa nos no vai cominda outro
Correcto.
assim, né? Dus
Mita hay mas bosa master mita hay mucho nang kumi sa school full flown. So mita make me kumi jude kaso ki nata si conscious discipline na school. So nata kiss, nis hort je vrouw, eta iedereen ifata sa sinaki, enta brasa, high five, man. Al verder kinipin ang coachy. Awar na sali hi. Hi. En dan voor peta moeilijk. Zei mami no makibrasa yung mucha. En tama itong hugger no po yuda. Pero bosa dus peta ito difícil but surprisingly nanta how nang mes na afspraken nang. So I guess it's our job.
Yeah, but what I do hear is that a lot of people think that, you know, once the borders open, that the mindset will change of people. And that they will, they don't want to hug anymore and don't want to be around people a lot anymore. So I'm very curious what's going to happen with that.
I hope so. I think one of the problems that we had in Aruba, we were great at keeping this at bay. You know, we had very few cases. The amount of cases in the ICU were small. So right now we got to figure out if you know, when the drill stops basically and we get people in, how are we going to act? Because I don't think we had like the population itself. We didn't have that much much to prepare. You know what I mean? It was we were keeping our distance. We were all locked up. Now we are out in society. Walking and going to restaurants now that they're open and bars, and at that point when really, you know, we do have cases, and ultimately when we have cases, we had those 3 months to prepare now, so it's not like we have another case, we need to immediately close. Technically we're supposed to know how to handle
Sí,
this.
outro end sa aqui quando me has.
Correct.
People know the drill.
Sí.
Sí.
You know, I think all our health authorities, or you know, they know what to do. I hoped, you know, they were able to practice as much as possible with the cases that we did have.
Yeah.
But it's going to be tough. I don't think we don't have the experience that the rest of the world is having. You know, when the virus is still going around everywhere else.
Me tem uma pergunta. I have a question. Do we think there's gonna be a second wave? Tá biting onde those wave?
I don't think we had a first wave.
No, right? It was like a mini wave.
It was like a...
It was like a little ripple.
Pero pasobra si bolesa e o actor. Boa noite.
Boa noite.
Nós
Boa noite.
Nós temos Daniel in the house. Daniel is in the house.
Welcome.
Welcome.
See, we're all shaking hands now.
Oh, it's okay. Nasa papiano di Nasa papiano di okay, kibuta hasa, but okay, but virtually ita isa aqui, ita is safe, but then si boko no yung gente, mira, automaticamente bota para si.
Sí.
Well,
welcome Daniel. Boa noite.
Thanks.
Welcome to Open Mind. Daniel Ferrara di Janis Group ta no special guest awe. Josie por bisa unti que aqui que nos invitar Daniel.
Well, see, tursi mga manera bosa conhecer Open Mind, branch de lo que tá pergunta que nós vai trata e caso nós vai trata mais claro nós sempre tá quis persona que tamake me mais de cerca que a nós mesmo caso aqui e as nós brainstorm okay quem nós bisa que tá e tamaken que de hotel area e tá business owner entrepreneur e plus tá tem dos diferentes tipos de line of business que agora afeta. E Daniel também tá board member de Aruba Gastronomic Association, ele board de KVK, então ele tem toch portofeuille toch basta pisaculo e por dialogar iba diferente tipo de tema. Dus pa motivo inang os invita Daniel Ferrara pa estão kuno conhecer. Yay, welcome. Thanks. Kuto nos thought leader. Happy se bom say na. Nos thought leader di esimang aqui. See, we always welcome people with blue glass. Thought leader di esimang aqui, obviamente nós trabalhamos com o que mais sua experiência não com esta marca meio for de sua posição de business owner com essa que agora afetar. E mais claro, esta mira não só que na via live feed, feel free, põe a sua pergunta na below. Também, esta que tem pergunta, não lupida, vou sempre, mas nós boa pergunta via nosso WhatsApp, que tá 5689000. Anto, de forma inanang, mais claro, nós se a pergunta, se é tinta macan com o tema, heilas, e if not, nós tomamos para next tema e nós até depois.
Correcto. Welkom je already, Daniel. Zij tot in het kort die Josie was.
In het kort, in het kort, Shona. Zena, wat ik op de site.
Well, Daniel, net para mim como 30, mas a pergunta, se nós está querendo que vai ter second wave de corona na Aruba.
Missa, mi sto ascoltando over se fulesi ma anche tambe. Falava ma non ti chi preoccupazione nana, no? Jesus.
Sim. Yeah. Diego Bisa, di quanto tu tá?
We haven't had a first wave.
We didn't even have. It was a little ripple.
There's no second wave. What do you mean?
Maybe we get the first wave.
Correcto.
Ja, dan kan ainda nos não dal if nos não by door de full pick man em outro país não, se que nos é verdade nos não by door de first wave, so minus assim nos by por evite então bakit passa o mito supone em dezembro tô piando tá de second wave.
Sim, tava piando de second wave em dezembro. Sim, não tá bisado em dezembro nos por verwacht second wave, ja, met querer para sobre a cultura rende tá papiando com sim, nós também abre, ja, agora nós sabemos não também abre a floodgate na América.
Sai de abre fronteira, tendo vira feliz, vai na boca de trabalhar dezembro.
I mean, you look at but you look at the news today, and then the places where they're having that second wave now, and then you have Arizona, California, Florida, all the hot states. Yeah. And this, Arizona is like, that's a desert like Aruba. And then you say, shit, what are
how are you going to handle it?
Okay. Jacob tá aqui, Daniel. Pode ganhar share conosco a experiência ora com turcosa começar?
Bom, me te quero não estar mas não shock, me te quero para qualquer turno ou me te quero não estar aqui mais calma, não estamos going through it, me saco hope cansado também, inclusive eu prometo todos nós estamos brincando basta via AFBA, via KBK, nós mesmos, na companhia, preocupava com a situação, turno de maneira como te diz, survival mode. Assim nós botem 3 levels de survival, botem survival level 3 que também ora é leão na China, level 2 é leão que na airport, level 1 de diante bo leão de riba bo, vamos fazer algo, então me quero tu ainda também é stock nem sem rato, agora que tu ainda calma um pouquinho mais, pero yeah, ora first informação bindal é dar hope dura, não? It's kind of like
me quero hope ainda espanta, não Aruba só, pero tu caminho de repente toda maneira. Oh my God. Tu rende te vai virar malo.
Yeah.
O número não tota tiki artificial também, ao achteraf. Ora bo walk back met pensar. Ja, na papi di assina candidato assina grande de gente que tu vai virar malo e tu rende raak em paniek. Então, a walkie que ela passa, ou não passa, ela está passando, para a walkie é número não está echt, não está real, não está, pelo menos não está tem real numbers, não está, basta do turcos riba teoria de com elo vai vira ou com elo portar, pero a walkie acaba, ela passa na China, ela passa na Itália, ela passa por outro caminho, e abo tem mais data que vou por relativamente com vírus a dar Turcamina e obviamente Turcamina é diferente também, Aruba está outro com Itália, se você tu número na Holanda e acaba mawak toevallig Maurice de Hond, estadista hopi famoso de Holanda, a post ko eno ta kere ko to vai ter second wave mês. Que men,
Pero ¿quién te quiere?
sì, sai te cos, quem bota querer.
No,
Sì.
pero tu renumber tanta otro den tur país.
Tur caminda, sì.
You know, every single statistic is taken differently. All the countries are doing their testing in a different way. They're, you know, if you look at how the states report, you know, who's had a positive case or not of the COVID, and the incentives that there are for reporting or not reporting a COVID case, then it makes everything a little bit more difficult to understand.
Yeah.
And you see all these epidemiologists, they still can't wrap their head around it. Right?
Yeah.
Of what is it? How does it go? We saw the World Health Organization this week saying one day, no, don't worry, asymptomatic patients don't transmit the disease, or very rare is it transmitted. The next day, there's a full 180 degrees. It's like they're moving the goalposts all the time. You have no idea where to
do
go.
we think that's because they want to calm people down? Do we? It could be tactics to calm people down, like.
Het is niet de mans get people nervous. Escucha un cosa un día, otro día escucha algo otro. Demasiado hoop incertidumbre. Ahora no se comienza un plan para 2-3 lunas, pero una verwacht dat algo long term. Ahora papi die second wave, we moeten gaan voor een otro eigenlijk plan, comportar un año of algo más largo. Que man, a lot of incertidumbre.
Met yung koskito kinang kumahay awe, the Washington Times. Coronavirus hype, biggest political hoax in history.
Yeah, man. Basta Aldo, wat heb je zei ando? Basta kim tayo estranho, awoting na Amerika buting like almost civil war breaking out, riots. Tu bita tayo estranho buting riots na ribakaya, buting coronavirus, en number na começamento buting 2.500 muri pa dia, ou buting mais ou menos 2-3 semanas cabo que riots ribakaya, pero buting 900, 800. Something doesn't add up.
Exactly.
Something is weird as yeah, I don't know what it is.
Sí, a quantidade de informação está overwhelming. Que men bonsamas eigenlijk ibo se kere. Ook die miles die hinder bakaya ta riot para Black Lives Matter. Toevallig no sa papi over de sei si man passa. E bota pensa, sim, eigenlijk tá supposing miles e miles die hinder te birando malo. E toch in number nang
but it takes a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah.
Let's see.
True.
Pero corta
Let's read the
tapos ay mas young dan damit bezig te protest.
Sí.
Sí, atrowe ko na tabi asymptomatic person not
to
to
transmit
spread
it.
it. So I don't know.
And still there's even though there's enough travel between the states and between the cities, let's say in the US, because unfortunately that's where we get most of the information from is coming from the US. The most of the noise of knowledge and information is coming from there, and so we get a little bit blinded of what goes on to the rest of the world. But you see that a lot of these hubs, they're not traveling between those cities too much. There is travel, but it was not the amount that there was before. Just to follow, 2 days ago, my brother, he flew from LA to Miami. And I asked him, you know, how is it? Because I'm worried. In Aruba, we're opening up our borders, you know. What are they doing at the airports there? Because that's where we're getting our people from. How are they controlling it? And he told me it was basically the airport, LAX, big, huge airport, Miami International, big, huge airport. Told me, to be honest, there was only like 2-3 flights at the same time. We all had huge distance, you know, things to go through. TSA was, you know, everybody was very controlled. They had the plexiglass in front of the lady that reads the IDs. They had all. They are putting things in place to make sure that doesn't happen. And he told me more than 90% of the plane had their face mask on. They're still taking it seriously because the people that fly, they know that he did tell me the flight was full, 100%
And it is
full.
compressed air.
So that's very well optimized from the airline's point of view. That's, you know, that we have to take it that people that are gonna be flying coming here, hopefully they also take care of themselves. But when you put those things together, then you see that the hubs of transmission, you pair it with the riots. That's places where they didn't have that, you know, they're out in the street because they weren't sick, ultimately. If not, they wouldn't be out on the street.
No.
So it's a...
great ko ba bring up airports? Met yung post di gobyerno di Aruba. Kuta skibi que dia nos fronteira não tá abre e pa unda. Me também lese para tour gente escuta. 16 de junho 2020 Aruba Bonaire Corsou. 1 de julho 2020 Europa, Canadá com Caribe. 10 de julho USA e lo queda por lo pronto Centroamérica com Suramérica será de cu próximo aviso.
So now wave ta
Não wave tá sim. Dus ja, papiano de airports, aceita nos realidade na Aruba. Que menos papiano de 5 de junho, 1 de julho e 16 de julho. E 16 de julho, não, sorry, 10 de julho. Ja, 10 de julho eigenlijk. Het is que te preocupa a mim, pero ja, nós não para mim, ja, me tá pensa, nós temos, para mim, essa é minha opinião personal, nós temos a abrir.
Claro.
It's
do or die.
sim.
Claro,
But what do you guys think? Because indeed, if we open the 15th of July for America, Curacao and Bonaire will close again for us. That's the idea.
Sim.
So that means that we will get tourists from America, but we won't be able to travel between the islands. What do you guys think about that?
Unfortunately, I think the relationship we had with our sister islands is not as strong as sometimes we would like. So there's not that much trade going on between the islands, to justify the big planes. We also in Celere going down, all these things going down. Yeah. It's unfortunately, and I think we still have our cargo facilities that are current. So it's unfortunate to not have that good relationship. It's unfortunately that the reality, but that's not where we're getting our what's driving our economy. Yeah.
Sì. No, lamentavelmente assim está. Sì.
Pero basta tipo puntra di baccaia per fordo, no? Mera mi hasi e interviews abri baccaia anto e commentari com mahaya ta nating nang meaning parang kami why would I even bother pa share me meaning because it would not make a difference. Pero si me se categorizar so ovviamente mi chiara tene nang mahor nang losi 4 ang kusi chiara filma. Taku indra nanta wake importância e urgência para verdade abrir e fronteiras na passou tá nos bread and butter. Pero era mucho morrer nang kumia interview como topa também bise que men op zich esta questão de que p eta sintico tem double standard em fulle conta. Dus in fulle coronavirus COVID-19 issue parce que men portar hopi hende bira malo kaba quando su full eta na ruba kaba way before. Pero ku P eta sinti que is just another flu. Então, a mentalidade na que men que sei ela cana full season, anto e que men posso se vai se preocupar e não vai por dormir noite. E den super percepção tudo como overeen com o mesmo tipo de opinião tá com ori rápido gewoon for each his own. So, você tem battle, so você tem make sure you shield and you take care of yourself and make sure para nos quedar healthy at some extent.
Depende também de que indústria botar, não? Por exemplo, botar para banco, para governo, botar nervioso, para botar um tique mais tranquilo. Ou botar em frontline, em restaurante, em hotel, recebendo cada cliente que chega na rua, tu passa mão com a pessoa, eu recebi um tique mais complicado. Botar nós mesmos, já nós temos vários empregados, nós temos yuca cabinase, por nós temos vuela com um tique mais grande na casa, nós se toca tique nervioso, não? Não necessariamente para nós mesmos, mas para a pessoa que não pode afetar na casa.
Yeah. And so for your employees, because I think when we talk about this, economy versus health type of thing, like you say, bank guy, they're home.
Yeah, it's different.
If you're working in government, most people have their own salary coming in. But on your industry, it's really that's the question: is it health? Because health, you're dealing with all the people direct.
Yeah.
And so you're there in possible danger zone, but at the same time, you're really directly impacted on the economy side if you're not open. Yeah, how do you see that?
I mean, the most of the employees, they're just, they've had a loss of like 90% of their income. That's with subsidy. Because tips represents 90% of their income. So with subsidy, they're getting 10%. And that's paying 100% salary because you're normally on minimum wage working on the floor. For them, they don't really have a choice about health. It's about, like you said, live or die. You have to eat, and that's what you got to make happen. So complicated. Yeah.
So I was thinking a separate topic on this. So we were talking about all the different rules, regulations of how are we going to deal with it. But one of the things that I don't hear that much about, and I want to hear if I'm the only one that doesn't hear it or what's going on, is there doesn't seem to be that much of a push for us to be healthy. To have like our immune system ready, and I think it's just basically the way our health system works here, which is usually you get sick, then you get everything taken care of, but there's no investment in making sure people don't get sick to begin with. That people eat healthy, that that we have a good habits. You see it in other countries where the health system invests in making sure that people are
preventive health.
Okay, so there's preventive health measures. I don't, I wonder how our listeners are thinking about this. Is everybody taking care of themselves? Making sure that they've got their vitamin D, going to the beach, and making sure that the sun is making this, making sure that there's a little bit of sport going on, and better eating habits, or are we just gonna fall back under the same thing? Because ultimately, that's what we see the problem being. No.
Look, that's why. That's why. Even in Giant and I think even in Aruba, COVID brings a lot of negative things. Economic issues, health issues, but it does bring a lot of positive things also. So a lot of problems that we had in the past, now is the opportunity to fix a lot of these problems, reform and all these type of things that are coming into play now. So yes, there's a lot of negative things, but right now is the mentality or the way that we were functioning as an island with, we don't have the preventative healthcare and system in Aruba. It's about, the more people get sick, the more money is being made. So right now, this is the opportunity to fix that and, change it, for a better health system, hopefully.
I like that.
Ito interessante ko Diego pa brengen say up, so durante season, ito vakantie. Durante season, corona season, episode number. Exactly. So durante temporada aqui não sa sige corre. I mean, não sa sige train ku distance, pero ito uma maneira pa keep sane. Hopi hende.
Allora, che falmi opta quanto gente di repente bira deportista.
No, pero ito angst ayaga, ito scary, but still kind of nice, kind of scary. Like, oh my God, hopi gente, may tingway matrempang, may por. Okay, pero great pa miras na hopi gente move ita active, no? Enang ko para never ever mawari ba ruta. But as ko yung numero na kumi sa baha, hindi na tama kumi sa baha.
Claro.
Dus, inamatawag tambe,
sa ita man ora ng serabo din prison, Jules. Ko a chance ko buhay mo tabay pa fo.
Takana, may kana.
Si takana, may tingo kana, may tabay kana. Basta na makana pa fo.
Basta turhen to hopi druk ko trabaho. Nanti excuses pa no hasi aldan. Ora kita ta echt kiko. Lekker bij kor.
Pero me quiere decir que hopi no está trabajando durante 6 semanas. Que não vai para fora. Agora trabalhando back at home, para flow, basta ja.
Die kost die hasi, entertainment, bij bar, bij. Basta is het toch diferente.
É algo interessante para o nesse caso, quanto gente está canando.
Então espera ko algum por aqui para behave. Então ito uma maneira ko bota manter po minhas razão também, ibo immune system high, ibo da boost bo energia para ko protegendo bo minhas preventivo também para ko essa aqui. A mim me pensa com mi pensamento en todo tá ko a mim eu quero den farmaproducten, sei que men sorry. Não gosta me muito, pero a mim eu quero den vitamin.
Zit onder open mind.
Natural.
Sai de outro topic.
Sim, pero pasan vi smoothies, kubo kruiden din je, weet je, bolinas, sapuchi, whatever, anto tubo vitamina ng kubo bebe mainta, pero obviamente organic. Anto bosa ku mita sindi que tem mais benefício para nós ku portanto maneira Diego Tabisa para promover good health, para manter o immune system, para ter tiki peace of mind. You know what I mean? Like, mabebe mi 6 vitamina ng awes, I'm good. Cosa gente avisami awe din kaya que mita quere que pensando arriba coronavirus, mita chance vira mais malo que se me haye. Então, mas kita pensa riba just dispensando riba coronavirus de mais chance de virar malo de comer raia, so que menta com.
É the manifesto de
Estava piando de medo. Estava piando de medo quando a gente do meu corpo.
Sim, exactly.
Yeah.
Cosa dus okay, bom.
Yeah, então outro ponto é
Sim. Mita haya agora vai tocar tema com mita hobby interessante também, Daniel. Tu rende a wake mene, oh my god, coisa que acaba com turcos vai den blá, pero toch caminho, é uma oportunidade para bolher o coisa back de outra perspectiva, portar usa, bis coisa portanto, hobby bom, pero portar usa als smoesje, para hacer para trazer cambio. Este é momento, nenhum rende não pode saber, sabe que também sempre nós estamos papi de terceiro pilar econômico para Aruba.
Correto.
Governo vai todos papi de terceiro pilar econômico para Aruba. Mas tem terceiro pilar econômico para Aruba. Tu renta para Aruba, pero não está nenhuma urgência para vir terceiro pilar econômico para Aruba. Para sobra, e todo vai em turco está ganhando. Ok, está sendo bom. Agora, coronavírus, COVID-19, Mr. Bing, para poder tu rende plop, prometo que blop, oh my god. En dus steeds van pensa, van pensa over die die tres, of ook in ons papiando die dos pilar econômico, pues nós não resta eigenlijk nenhum outro. Anterior me pensa concha, é coisa aqui me passa.
Absolutamente.
Riba Aruba,
absolutamente.
Pa tour rende, huddle up, bing junto, é coisa eigenlijk tá hobby sério, mas nós mester die dos of die tres pilar econômico. And maybe zij het kost positieve COVID hebben kunnen toch.
Actually, they are talking about a lot more now. Economic pillars. If I'm not mistaken, there are now 6 different ones.
Oh, really?
Six different task forces. Diego, maybe?
Yeah,
because it's a primary sector. There's
correct. On the economic development side, there's I think 6 different task forces. Sustainable tourism and circular economy. That's something that's
food security.
Ultimately food security, waste management, things that actually we can drive our economy in a different way. That would be ultimately that utopia that we all want to live in. And there's a chance. We have a chance right now to make
kickstart
these
they have
structural reforms.
They should concentrate on a second one and then finish the second one and go to the third one. If you concentrate on 6,
but the thing is,
I'm afraid that in 6 months we'll be back at 1.
Here I say that and this is one of my main issues, because you mentioned they should. No, we should. So this is the and it's the same thing with I saw a couple of the interviews coming up. We're all trying to rely on somebody. If they think that we should open up the borders, then it's okay. It's not about that. In the end, are you doing your part to make sure that when we open up the borders, first you're keeping yourself healthy, you're keeping yourself distance from others, but distance is a figurative way. How hygiene? Do we make sure that everything is clean, that we are keeping safe practices for ourselves, let alone for our tourists, that if they come here is because they're gonna see that we are taking this thing seriously. If not, they're also not going to come here, right?
Exactly.
This is the main issue.
Hey, but just a remark. You're now changing minds, huh?
I am. No, it's just open. It's just opening mind. It's my mind.
We're opening minds. We're opening minds.
I hope I don't change anyone. No.
Toevallig, minha papi com comerciante, com abisami, so, mi tatende hopi gente que também mi saco Daniel abaixo bo certificado de
the happiness code of full grupo.
Full grupo, pa bem. Toevallig mi tata papi com comerciante no stauta toevallig se acabou mas no stauta Daniel na Ásia. Com associação de
rentals. Yes.
Então, me papi com comerciante, então turhente tingnan comentário over o protocolo, anda muito opi, tanto coisa aqui que saia, quanto com nós temos hasi. Então, tem meio na visa, a mim não é echt hopi. Para sobre a mim tot hasi tu reconan que acaba.
Yes.
Eigenlijk bij hygiene, komen we erbij om.
Sim, que men eigenlijk me pensa, oké, se tem par de gente que sabe, não tá echt de hobby, para sobre si, bota haciendo com a maneira se tá, bota
Sim.
suposto tá haciendo na caba,
Sim.
porta par de coisa bem erbei, yeah, yes. Dus senhor, interessante para escutar sobre outro gente também tem pânico, não tá por bando de assim é impossível para nós abrir nosso lugar back. Que boa experiência tá.
Ja, bosa itu o tema tá com na Aruba, hobi viaja, se porque abre um negócio, botar abrir. Seita.
Permiso.
No, pero es poquito. You have to have a porta, Javier. That's it.
Pega o nome e porta, dá-lhe porta abre.
Sí. Seita é assunto me te quiere, você e me te compreender, é um país chiquito, bueno, por ti, você controla tu caminho, é difícil, pero definitivamente enkele kosten que dingen happiness code te kosten que normalmente mensen sucede cava que men pero me te quiere no solamente na Aruba, qualquer parte do mundo botin sempre mesmo tipo de situação. So
Pero I was thinking also on that same line of thinking, of all the things that we're gonna need to do, and right now we had this moment to close down, take a breather, right?
Yeah.
We see a lot of the other tourism destinations of the world. A lot of them have seasons, right?
Yeah.
High season, low season.
Yeah. 6 months.
I think in Aruba for the last few years we haven't known a low season for a while. And so now that we're talking about these waves, do you think, I'm just putting this completely out there because I haven't thought about it that much, that would it make sense to close up like once a month a year from now, where we look at how do we restore some of the ecosystem, make sure people get a little bit of rest, that you get some training on your staff, that type of thing. So
I mean, and I
other
think
places have been able to do it,
No,
right?
I mean, I think in Europe they close in. I mean, in Italy, I know in August everything is closed. Everybody goes on vacation in Europe in August. All the beaches are full, and all these little islands. That is a model. Everybody goes on vacation on 1 month. I don't know how that works. I've never experienced it myself, but I mean, it's an option. Maybe September. I don't know.
I mean, you look at Tassel.
September de luna de Maslow?
Sete luna mais slow. September, porta de 2 Mei. September com mês de 2 luna mais que tudo bem. But I mean, it's an option.
Pero imaginavo imaginava o potencial de mercadeio que tem. Que nós por visa als isla, com luna larga, nossa cera, treinos gente não preparar para se algo assim não volver passa, nós por visa als isla agora, nós está preparar para cooking. E confiança que botar, dus se me pensa als een marketing tool, que eu quero mensen por visa, nós vamos para nossa cera, nossa isla, do na natureza chance para direita back, treinos gente não preparar para outro caso similar of no, pero in ieder geval bopo train boheen na bopo diretso boluga bopo. Dus
het depende hoop que tá passando outro Jesus luna não. So se botin uma economia basta stabil para Jesus luna, close for 1 month it's a good idea. Se a economia tá vai hope up and down, then it's maybe a little bit difficult to plan.
Também te quero também grupo que tá bem durante o ano, portanto nós começamos a focus sobre luxury, e não que tá really spend orante, nós não também luna off, pero nós precisamos zorg para group A bem aqui na,
pero
right?
pensei nos tour, mas está certified com happiness code na Aruba. É hora de lograr assim.
Exactly.
Daniel, los di Cubo Tinjanis Group, right? Misa Cubo ovviamente è board di Aruba Gastronomic Association. Kung buso a experience culture members nang?
Nos members ng Aruba Food and Beverage Association. Não se cambia. Honestamente, pa maioria restaurante, nossa companhia ng lokal, que nós tem big corporate headquarters na América Latina. Me te quero honestamente por me ora tu cosa começando na basta medo. Hope de nós vai take out and delivery. Se ajuda a survive actually hope restaurante. E honestamente me te quero maioria de los members não está basta bom informar nosso trabalho o governo para ajudar legislation happiness culture sa kinang kaya mita kaya nós está basta satisfied pelo momento e nós está fazendo polls diferentes surveys entre nós anto lo qual está saindo para foto que danke na ajuda de subsidy nós está making it mita kaya sunan kung no abre agora que nanta abre porta maioria vai abre na juli o resto mita kaya tá abre definitely agosto setembro pero no momento tinha par de negócios que começaram a sair a declarar bancarrota, pero a maioria me tem que ainda potencial tem não para survive, então bem back to turismo. Se nós está planeando agora que por lo menos.
Sim, pessoal, se o wag bom também riba social media vai voorbeeld. But o wag verdade que durante full, a mim pensa hope honesto me a profiteer também de take out. Mas então é momento a mim pensa que é momento não porta agradável de incertidumbre para o país completo, pero para ela ajuda puxa algo. Que me que se ela ajuda puxa portar com a neba da visa, quando está tardando añales para fazer digital platform para education. Oops. It's possible.
Somehow.
You know, somehow it's rolling.
Inovar agora, não? Porque tem 10 times, bota como você pensa, ok, como nós podemos cambiar, que coisa nós podemos...
É medo como tinha que ora borders não back abre, tu não back, tu ainda laga vai de tudo innovation, de tudo ideia não novo, tudo é bom preço, não porta. Sim,
me quero apontar
of course, me sabe especial. No, definitely tem mercado lá. Nós temos um restaurante hobby grande, já é um hobby grande, então me quero esperar hoje, já vier a noite, nós estamos eigenlijk rampak, já viernes, já sábado, já domingo. Nós temos plancha domingo, by the way, little promotion. pero eigenlijk, nós temos hobby aí na Aruba, que nós temos hobby apoio local. Pero me espera sim que o restaurante, é difícil sim, sobre a maioria de business está em rush hour à noite. Take out and delivery business da noite, tem dia, de lunchtime, tudo isso aqui na se tinha suficiente personal para vai encatur coisas em outro para você seguir que é lunch and delivery applications não tudo isso mas vai walk ora borders estão abre pero é difícil por dar para manter tudo dois
que você pensa de horário quando põe bolsa sera 10 horas sobre sei também me tem tour Henry
sim
social media tá 10 horas que você tá como as dono de restaurante que você quer man pavo
well desde ayer está 10 horas
sim
sim nós só abrimos aqui nada então sai uma hora extra bom personalmente, just not uma boa hora para nós. That's a good hour. 10 horas de card, mas ela anda tu dentro, bebendo, festejando, mandando tu de casa. Just not para restaurante bom. Já se um bar, não tem que mais complicado, até hora que tu costa começar. Pero, mas compreender também que tem um par de situação custícia e riba caia que man. Vamos ser actor dos bancos.
Por causa de um ticket de balanço.
Sim.
Sim, sai me quero apontar agora Diego. Diego.
Ela vinha assim na roupa, eu vou preparar que isso não se guarda.
Não, Diego que me é preço de florim para dólar. Dólar para florim. Hopi gente e foto bisa que mesmo por vender minha pizza aí para de 5 florim.
Wow, but me te quiere, ora botimbo empleado entrando riba subsidy, corda. Full e-commerce do ganhando subsidy.
Obviously, bono da trai full staff tampouco.
Yes, sem subsidy, bono da vende pizza para de 5 florim. Que me bota por bando, in realidade me te quiere, agora eu estou encontrando de restaurante, com interaccionando, com também no dor turcos. Nós já personalmente, nós será para 3 semanas. Então, hope outro abre de viaja, of nós sigue corre mês com take on delivery. Para nós, é no total algo de bang abrir back, bang ganhar entrada, ganhar profit. Me te quer bom, por dar alguma companhia na rua, pero me te quer é trazer para profit agora aqui. Que para nós é total algo mais de motivation, botimbo empleado na casa. Honestamente, nós empleados nós temos hobby bom, economic situation, tips da trazer hobby bom. Então, ora tudo coisa passa, me dá que conscientizar os empregados o mais possível para compreender, nós estamos living luxury life bonita, então agora que me se extra, então não está maneira antes, que me 3-4 semanas é funcionar bom para tu hindi bimbay, kiko ta passando, anto yaro sa começar trobe, tu English algo para motivar, vai back tra começar de novo.
Get back then drive.
Yeah, maioria empregado da hopi emocional, não somente o nosso vai back tra, pero o nosso por abrir restaurant mes. It's a very, very emotional moment pa nang. Que me mete que algo just for motivation pa ora aqui.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you see that? So right now it's a crisis, no?
Yeah.
And so at the beginning when it first started, I saw quite a few people in Aruba saying, it's okay, we'll do nothing, and the financial education in a lot of households is not very high, no? So everybody just lives on the month to month and making very good money
Casinos,
sometimes, and then sometimes it just goes, no?
Yeah.
And so I'm optimist that this will hold up, and you've seen different generations that have lived through like wars, things like this, and then this after they live through it, they say, we gotta save our money.
Yeah.
We don't know if it's COVID-19 or it could be whatever else could come in 5 years, 6 years, 10 years. We don't know.
Yeah.
What a year, 2020.
I wonder how much of this if this was long enough or hard enough on us, so that people will retain the mentality of we gotta be careful. We're opening the borders and then we're gonna be a little careful. How much of this has become a habit?
Met het gevoel que hopi gente na Aruba não te realizar quanto gente e com grande problema que tá.
No,
absolutamente. Yung pari number kinang di FPNC.
Mas manda-nos.
Nangabay di 200 cas ko toto Ministério de Ayudo pa 2.800 cas ko toto Ministério de Ayudo.
Aruba.
Na Aruba. 200 cas ko toto waro ayuda com voedselpakket, com comida caliente. Nangabay fay 200 pa 2.800 cas com Ministério de Ayuda. E basta ting ora de hopi double pa. So mita kana riba kaya, mita water hen riba kaya, dalom drinks num bar, en ora min wakker nummer aki eigenlijk. Het is scary, so met bisa onda ik hen nang kita.
Juist.
Basta
But assim, di ko cosa como sa bimbek na normal. Hena na bawa hena din bar, nanta bebe. Ni tami ta pensa dia. Really?
Yeah.
Dan the spending toch nang plaka. Pero sa kita hope is scary.
Basta mitata conversar awe com a senhora como topa tu fala tá de tá voluntário na ajuda para Aruba. E esta também se de hope então me também é background então me quer que sempre ela existe. Pero ela existe, pero you make ends meet. Mahasi chapi aqui, maxi kumpaya mas kos aya, pero awoki nanang nosso wordo obrigar para quieto. Like no solamente a nós, like no grupito, pero everybody. So tata makisali finos casa, que mento tin chapimento ta tuma lugar, da chamenti erco, da chamento di cura. So correhenan ko pura ta biba ding menos e não te pedi ajuda, você também toma lugar, você não te pedi ajuda, para o que não labira to the extreme, there was no other choice. E não que bisa great que ela passa, pero se toch bom que nós o que não tem actual data. E actually não sabe quanto gente está ganhando food packets, quanto gente está guardando de instância, não vamos canalizar a informação e não, assim data bank de we are happy to give back nem caso que se por, para nós portem actual data de ok, bom, qual distrito são com massa sofredor de
de 20 de abril para 31 de maio, Meals on Wheels a parte 7.500 comida.
Correcto. And that's one of those things that then we really have to stop and think. So when I see people out there today, when going out, I'm happy, to be honest, because they're spending here. They're not out on vacation spending their florins outside. They're spending it here, and it goes to somebody that's employed and going on. Exactly. But the problem that we're having with most of Aruba is that not everybody can work in the restaurants. Not everybody's there, and so at what point are we going to realize, how does our economy answer for everybody, right? And that's a very tough because when we open up.
Remember also that when you go to these restaurants and you see these bars and everybody full, that's about maybe a couple thousand. Remember, there's 120,000 people in Aruba.
It's not that many. Correcto.
Yeah, they're somewhere. They're somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. I only see them out during Carnival. During Carnival, it's when you say we have all these people living here. Where are they? I never see these people on the street. But ultimately, is there are people, the people that can and that have had some money saved up and they're still getting some income because some of them work outside of Aruba, some of them work in different industries that don't depend on tourism. They can spend. But how, when we open up, so we hear numbers that it's going to be maybe 2,000 tourists per week, something like
that's
this.
What I heard also.
That's what I'm understanding. That's at the beginning, let's say. And then how will that answer for all the 100,000 people that we have?
Not only about only 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people coming per week, but the purchasing power.
Because they were all hit, huh?
Yeah,
everybody
hit.
in the world is hit.
Everybody's hit. Our center is hit. New York is hit, the biggest. So I don't think these these guys are coming down and giving out the same $100 tips, $200 tips. I highly doubt it.
And I think their vacation were already booked, toch? Dus niet een keer nog cancel of not. Dus dat bing en dan de wak kon dan de spend por dat so.
They have their week bought on the timeshare.
Sì, no, del passato cabo non capisco non si guardo Salvador di timeshare, ma ora tinha crisis na quale è stato da
2008.
Sì, Aruba bisa sì, no, financial crisis sì, però danke Dios ko Aruba tinture timeshare owners nei ko toch bing Aruba mas che ko costo tata hopi bom pa nang lugar pa sobre nang tama tata passando door yung crisis. Anto danke Dios, nang tabing awo nós temos que pensar, nós queremos que esse de caso trove, nós temos
Busa, I don't know. Mino que tá hopi positivo, tipo hopi negativo, pero I mean, se mi todo na América e mi será biapa for bem vakansie. Minolo by Asia, definitely not Latin America right now. Definitely not Europe, probably, it's all the people. So, I mean, Caribe tá mostra destinação hopi atrativo agora aqui. Que mensaje é positivo e nada.
So you get a health quota met bij you.
He's COVID free. That's a big thing. So much to keep it clean. Yeah.
Toevallig met uma amiga, que eu estava bezig boek een ticket para vir Aruba back. Eu estava na Miami. Ela sali foi Aruba hora que COVID dal. Por sobre sua família na América. E não estava aqui a pegar aqui na ando não por baixo que sua família se algo passa. Dus ela quis para salir for de Aruba by Miami and to queda inang pa ride out the wave.
And the wave of being enough.
The season. Anto ela bisami dagmara. Amakabi compra mi ticket dia 30 mita bim back 30 de julho com American Airlines. Ela bisami di bijna por een ticket bim.
Sì, ma deve essere
fully booked.
See, everything is fully booked. Everything is fully booked.
Okay, dus toch eigenlijk un cammino nos ting hopi suerte ku hen ta om bisa okay I'm ita bij Aruba I don't care basta toch un cammino nos bisa ta hopi contento pero ama pensa oh my god people are going to be scared to travel.
No, pero
it's also one of the worldwide trends that you see happening right now. It's the unurbanization, the fact that people want to leave cities because they are afraid of
of course
people are living over there.
And the riots and everything. I mean,
it's exactly. For them, it makes sense because
it's like an escape.
Pero basta si papapyo ko, so ting bisitante nang kuting ting homeowners akina na kuta being for 3 months, 6 months go back and forth, right? Yung familia ko ta friends ninos kuta akinang I papapyo ko nanta bisa well I'm happy I'm here.
Na safe kinang ko ay
I letterlijk riba ruta tami unos ta korba to pa hopi anto hindi na lang ta kumindabo they just want to talk with people, right? Ano to bay na restaurant na conversa ko hen kung gusto mo wak turdia. Ano nanto punta how is it going? Bota correndo great. So you're good. Paso bubuhay ro sebong. Obviously, kasi makore. Okay, I will breathe. So, pero other than that, ano bota conversa ko na bisa well, no, we're happy we're here. I mean, we're safer here. Ano ta mind spend the plata si anything pasa akinang. But they don't want to go home. For them, paukin na Aruba tanang kas. They're like look at me at 6 o'clock in the morning and mita tumano walk by the most amazing beach. So what can go wrong?
Facebook groups on the turista na ti uno kuta all things Aruba. Bota walk tour hen na mane no cancel till last moment. Sinang cancel mita cancel. Does mi airline cancel mita cancels. Nanta hopi.
Nós estamos blessed assim, né?
Sim, nan kerping e desse nota aluku na bisa nami ho no nada. Ta gewoon waranta pe airline cancel pa nan por
Sim, reschedule na vuelo.
Some of the stories are nice, no? Right, like March 13, when right before we closed up. I remember talking to a couple of the tourist families that were here, and they were staying at different houses, and they're like, yeah, they're making us go. They don't want to go.
They don't want to go.
They're like, what am I gonna go do in the U.S.? There was this family from Minnesota. They had like their grandma. It was two brothers.
They were not happy to
and
leave.
Their wives and kids, and they're like, we don't want to go because if we get stuck here, that would be great. But the airline is making us leave because then we don't have a way to leave. But they were that type of stories. Yeah, hopefully.
Nice pa waku tochting band ku Aruba, no?
But in the end, looking at what's happening and what happened in America, maybe it was a good decision to actually stay here. I would,
if you're from New York City,
yes, absolutely.
You're in an apartment and you're just locked in. Forget it.
Yeah. Sì. Toevallig met aan met een paar appartemento Airbnb en toen met dat een cliënten dan obviously ora Marta dal tour cancellations nanta come sa 30 turista nanta message mi chat di abisami no che cancella mi booking mi tubi na ya sorry anto no mi no che pabuto na mandami mi placa back tampoco gis one te pa mi tabing guarda mi tabing sì popo tra un coupon pa mi dice no problem
uno che per esperanza porque tiene meta if she will let it go but let the dream go definitely
so moving forward on that now they're coming. So what I do hope is because unfortunately and ultimately we end up a lot of the time depending on what is the rule. But I hope that we can educate people before they come here. That somehow that education is pervasive, that people don't need to act on rules on you can or cannot do because that's infringing in people's liberty and then they're coming to the beach to be free and then they can't be free. But how do we educate them into this is good for you, this is good for us, and let's make sure that we don't get into a situation where it gets out of hand.
You're talking about hygiene and safety and all this.
Hygiene, safety, behavior, and that's
I
gonna
don't
be
know.
especially because I always hear, people I may be guilty.
Nós te preparar, nós treinos ainda nós temos happiness code. Nós tínhamos plexiglass, nós aqui na máscara, etc. Pero punto tá hopi complicar ora você vai em restaurante. Gente vindo na rua para descansar, quita stress, party, drink, laugh, all this kind of crazy stuff. So Bota de restaurante, bota bebendo com o grupo de 10, de 5 gente, 2, pareja. Very, very difficult social distancing. Hopi difícil. Que me sei muito vai ter um challenge basta grande chegando.
Prometo que na mesa ya boting 10 coisas que boting was acaba bem for.
Ora bota indo Aruba, ora bota indo on Caribbean island where there's no rules, everything is open, everything is relaxed, So nanta ba specific, nanta expect the sayor na minkinana, relax and chill out. So nós precisamos ver como nós vai handle.
Actually, I saw this morning a very interesting video on Facebook shared by somebody, and we can share it actually in our group as well. But that guy was talking about education and how you can educate people when coming to islands, and he started actually with the Palau Pledge. It's a stamp that people get in their passport and they need to sign exactly when they come in. And it started actually there, I think it is a couple of years ago. And of course Aruba does something like that as well. But I do think that we can do a lot more. And actually he mentioned, for example, the fact that when you enter an airplane, you always get the video of showing what you need to do, and we all travel. We all travel a lot, so nobody's
looking.
Nobody's looking. No.
but we all know it.
Yeah.
we all know it. Yeah.
No,
But what he said is, why not spend that time on educating the people in the plane about the destination where they're going to?
Yeah.
And I think that makes very much sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You mean about the rules and about the hygiene?
Yeah,
Okay,
you have-
okay.
you have- they have a screen in front of their nose. They can see a video.
Yeah.
Because you're like doing this, so
Yeah.
might as well.
Yeah.
I think
Ja, en det video så. Dus portai persona mesmo de para de lá, vou criar nice
Sim.
video e com
Papai Beckery ba say mi tinha um tique medo de ture sticker nang di 1,5 meter di distância e tur caminda e pochi nang di hand sanitizer men hindi ta bing maneira pa bisa worry hindi ta bing aruba relax não que pensa over di ture cosa ainda ou não tá chega caminho e tem 1,000 sticker pegado caminda pochi di hand sanitizer tu caminda I mean, see, I mean,
it's
Pero nanta parabo,
Hindi
no?
nanta ba
Ang magkabimaki may worry, then may fiasco na lugar di donuts.
el lugar de donuts.
May fiasco.
Josie that yung bad experience sabe.
Josie, talking about the donut economy?
Eso hindi ko, kwata ng gueldo na kabi come.
Uno. Mitingnan kinang si musika.
Okay, please.
No, pero, ora po yegin na, tapi sabo, no, buting ko wara 2 hindi sali.
Paabo din.
Nagkaya para pa 4 hindi para pa 4 like, it's the same thing, right? Pero, imagine, compressed air. So, nakasira, padrienta, hand sanitizer yung frau.
E como tá siya tame, no?
Sì.
Paso di home maneira pa bubisa.
Sí.
Well, no starting net po tentang may Johnny's Jaluna bahabaw by na restaurant net po trenta tinha board grande sticker heel grande escrevi coronavirus COVID-19 social distancing e tal. So sa mga korta turi na arriba pa fine you want to put social distancing that's fine but no blast coronavirus blast COVID hindi na sukar.
A couple of weeks ago, I was at a big box store. I'm not gonna mention the name. Very large store of Aruba, and then they have this thing going on the speaker system where you're going. Please make sure you keep distance from each other. Or boto hayabot en problema. This type does not. It doesn't make it like for a tourist coming in. That's not gonna make it inviting. So we need to.
Customer experience.
No, we need to bring in a good sense of balance into what is it that we're advocating.
Good design.
Kaya full din store similar, por até mesmo. Para amin to super.
Otro bad experience, Josie?
No, como Josie thing.
Josie things.
May abay hasi compras. Anto, ito siya mo bitato pa hand. Anto, may kinto action, tabing conversando, minupo yun. I'm a talker, if you guys don't know.
No.
Serio?
Anto, team member de team, sabi ko meu frau, aqui eu tenho ercana. Como que mesmo? Tá ficando com minha amiga fabulosa. Ele disse, pero você papel nos tem tempo, tem que cabe hasi bo em Copen. Então deve ser. Ela vem para mim, ela tá muito, okay, I get it, right? Pero approach to not a hopi friend, então que me diz que bom, eu que comprar na masking ding.
Porta, you were being too loud.
Pero você que tá é supermarket também vou vendo pone flecha. Então here a mim tá cana assim aqui, desse me deu no, I'm
Sí.
Reverse.
Nós estamos trabalhando para assim, né? Nós assim não é hamster, mas
You're going the right way, and all of a sudden you're going the wrong way.
Mas me sabe item da tenda, como
passa full run.
Vai fazer full map, não me chega.
Portaram você Google Maps pro supermercado.
Agora ainda passa para mim me tá wanda mi rosejo. Não, mas não muito cerca.
Como na hasi si buting kunister den hende?
Ah, não. A mim que tá wanda.
A mim tem problema com solo, não sei que a mim tá sendo entrevista.
Bota ni Insta solo?
Sí.
Hey, wag solo to Inster.
Eso lo guapi. Sí, pero como tá hasi, você mo wag muito mais entenda ao etambe, ora ma vai pedir passar para me entrevistar. Anto, me tá wag tá para ser tá wante ma que por, anto senhora di con ele.
Disney.
Laat het gaan, mee.
Kami mo lang los.
Let it go, verdad.
No, but in the end is that balance. If we get all the tourists in, if we don't have it, it's bad.
Yeah.
Because they're not gonna, there's that feeling we're coming to Aruba because it's a safe destination. They got it under control. They know how to handle this.
Yeah.
And if we go overboard, it may be like, oh no, it's like, you come out with the experience of I came to Aruba and all I could do was like stay in this bubble and I couldn't do what I wanted to do. And so it's a tough balance, but we gotta figure it out. I think it's.
I'm te quero conosco just by go with it and see and to preparar más mi jogo possível, obviamente. Então não quero unprepared. Pero ja, também não há assim demais. Me se queda leuke experience para turista e me se queda obviamente tique safe também, pero me ben chega caminho e maneira para bisa agora, chega então sticker heel grande que bisa COVID-19. Sim, isso bisa sério, sabe não tá para como bem, tá? Oh, me tá compreendendo que é problema, sim.
But it's good for the video, see. Like so you saw
The video in the airline, you're saying.
Video in the airport, video on the, like, they have it under control. But in the end, it happens like, I mean, the schools had the same thing. Right before the schools opened, they had beautiful videos of teaching the kids how do you have to come in, 1 meter, 1 meter, 1 meter. That day that schools open, those kids were not behaving appropriately.
No.
But ultimately, it was better than not having it.
Yeah.
I think that's
preventative.
We need to try to understand it, to how to go around with each other and now in the new normal. What is this?
In the
normal
novo.
Odio é palavra.
Pero você aqui que great se pamira ku papiano de escola não, right? Anteriormente, porque kita pegada em tráfico, isto caminho tem passali of 30. A outra tem 4 entrada. A mim passar com o escola tem 4 portas.
Ah, what?
So a outra não bota barre dilante, off na banda não, off na outra banda, então bota buscar outra banda, e me mitad escola tá sali. Então a escola agora tem 3, parte sali banda rechts, outra banda links, e outra banda dilante. So que men é flow. Tá like, meu pera mesmo pitinho para den rei.
Mas no supermercado não, ou é assim shopping.
Exato. Mas aquela beneficia-me, é pelo se não beneficiar, se não tá vai den cohesiveness de mi lista. Me tá chega, me tá programar para curso, me tá vai leite não prometo, me tá vai back é ba.
Eu vou passar full
família, sim, me não que cut the line.
Não, e porque how mesmo na rule this.
Eu vou dar dispensa.
Ah, me tá dando reverse phone.
Basta me tá haya as na grade ku nós podemos alugar de tema as na sério e basta toch não take it lightly para transmitir a boa energia com nosso quer com nossa comunidade, basta nós tá open minders me tá wag arriba schedules tini we do have a producer. Nós temos producer. Então, me digrei com o Daniel também que nós por assim a role storming session.
O que é role storming?
Me tem pari.
Me te explicava eu. Até por roles não. Ideia de role storming se me a compreender mi producer bom.
Pensa lo que me manda.
Vita buscando, não perder. Quem vai mandar me portrait agora aqui? Não. Ok, a ideia de role storming tá que cada pessoa tá aqui um character, dus bota bom mês. Nós vamos makita onde rena aqui dentro. Não, ok. Nós vamos makita yung rena que tá dentro estabelecimento aqui. Ano bota aqui onde a role example sang kuting ou se bota um outro role que porta
makita quem que botar.
Quem botar. Alas bahalva quem botar.
Alas bahalva bom mês.
Quem está, não? Quem a nós tá também.
Tem segment aqui não.
Sim. Ante ora nós vai papia de mesmo tema, pero nós tem role de outro gente. Okay.
We need one of those things that roll around so that we can automatically
sim.
Pero tem 3 perguntas para considerar. Que perspectiva tá de character aqui? Que com ele o é problema? Então, que com sua underlying attitude e sua mentality tá, right? É muito difícil, sabe? Pode ter boa perspectiva, pero vamos pensar par de characters para nós mesmos, então o Kiko nos pode brainstorm.
Wow, we're talking a superhero of a supervillain.
That's exactly what I was looking at. I was actually looking at the supervillain, pero
everybody.
I think I really am the supervillain.
Okay, well, vamos ver.
No, I mean, se você super villain perspective, it suck to say it, but open all borders and let everything happen, and just happen the way it's supposed to. I guess that's the way he would look at it, and
Of wat bisa is super villain bisa lagi ko sira anto laga tour kompanija nang naruba bay bakaroto numa.
Juanjo, você sempre tá pensando, é tu super villain para economia ou para saúde?
Correcto.
Pergunta tá, should we open our borders?
Sí.
Economy
Okay.
versus health.
Sí.
Kiko super villain
okay.
lokis.
Okay.
Bisa abrir border e laga nos economia thrive, anto nos generan como se vira malo.
Ai,
Kiko-
se tá roupa complicado. Você mané
Pero con elowake, right?
com elowake, você amawak tem coisa econômica que chama a trolley effect. Então, mané pintura com a pinta em tempo de plaga, que muito tempo sai cai full bistina preto, deck coming, então tem train track vai indo around, então riba banda de train track botin economia,
Yeah.
então riba outra banda botin saúde. Pero o ponto tá que minerta é 10-30 para dentro, então é roundabout. So, apat vai na uno, apat vai na outro. Que me das bono
avoid it, yeah.
Bono avoid it. So, I don't know, que me botar super villain. Mane alta vida, se porque quebra toda a companhia na laga tudo se coserá. Se porque uma com saúde e renda, botar abre tudo coisa. Complicado. I think
Bota
it's
querer
super
se nos
complicado.
abre se nos abre turcos, bota querer nos lo hunga com
saúde.
de higiene of nos ting.
Si nos wake number na.
Yeah.
Pasobra
Paso vida, nos
bang rato back na number na. Si nos wake number na. Aruba passador de quanto não chega? Shingi
Shen, sim.
Shingi gente a virar malo.
Sim.
Nós todos tem 3 gente que fallecer. Sai também tem hobby debate erover que ora bota conte als coronavirus.
tem complicações.
Yes.
Complicação. Antes ora bota pensa, ok, mi sa que é hobby delicado, mas bota papiando de vida de gente.
Correcto,
right?
correcto.
Não pode, obviamente, não pode preço riba vida de gente, pero ultimadamente maneira bota bisa é retorno.
Yeah.
Se não, bota chega toch back met zo'n caminho. Eventually, a economia acaba de crash.
Yeah.
Gente te morre de hambre.
Gente começa a morrer de hambre, of ja.
Yeah.
Não diretamente,
No,
pero
uiteindelijk.
bota vai
Sim,
vai tem outra causa en effect. Bota vai tem outra causa en effect. Se man na largo mi não tem placa para me comprar comida, me também sale foi vai assim comprar minha placa para me comprar
Claro,
comida. Nos quer
claro,
sei,
claro.
nos quer chega aí não.
Claro. I mean, if you're the supervillain, you leave everything close. No? Efecto económico. Da portar bia mais pior com coronavirus. Que
I think in society we always make that trade-off between what's good for the
Anyways.
economy and what's good for health. Anyways,
Yeah.
we allow
Anyways,
people to drive
Yeah.
just to begin with.
Yeah.
You know, it's not, for sure not as deadly as anything else.
No,
It
no,
increases chances when people are drinking.
Yeah.
But in the end, we make trade-offs.
We
And they're
make them
there.
every day.
Every single
Every
day.
day.
Yeah.
Now we need to figure out. To me, though, I like the supervillain though.
Yeah.
No, I don't like him. No. I like the thinking about because
Yeah.
I keep thinking like, how could you make this thing worse? I remember there's a lot of cases around the world of people that are just idiots ultimately, and they do stuff just to be mean to others, right?
Yeah.
So there's all these cases of baby food tampering in supermarkets. People go into the supermarket, they take a bunch of stuff, open it, do stuff, close it
really?
back again, just to be
Yeah.
idiots,
Yes, yeah.
basically.
Okay.
No, just
Okay.
because they want, and that's a typical supervillain. So we may end up with a case of some guy who travels, goes to New York City, tries
Malo.
to shake as many hands as possible, come
Yeah.
back in right before all the tests
Yeah.
are good. You come in,
Yeah.
and then you start. But that's type of stuff that we cannot. In the end, we're not going to be able to avoid.
Yeah, you
that
can't control
comes
it.
in,
You can't control
right?
it.
So just by making sure that we are prepared for the idiot that's going to try to do something.
Yeah.
I think that'd be interesting.
Then the
As a
super-
super villain, and I don't want to give people ideas.
Then
unfortunately,
the
I'm on
superhero
radio,
would
I
be-
guess, but that stuff.
Abong superhero.
Sì,
Kung
ora è superhero lo ta se mi pensa di un superhero mi ta pensa nada não pode se me danho sei que men ku mas mi ho preparami ta mas hopi meeting weerstand contra lo que ta bing pami que men als país of als volk de país mijonos preparar más superhero no está, más mijonos por bringa e supervillain, né? To ja, zij met de keren, sorry, maar alblieft,
Como te
kom je bij jullie heen?
Ah.
Ja, met de keren denk ik caso aqui, se me dat ding
Ventilators for
se me
everybody.
dat ding wow, se me dat ding wow, que saca laser que mata mata e coronavirus lo sei lo mi hasi para na airport.
Zit dat blieft, toch?
Sim.
No, mensen. No hay idea.
Sì. No, ma lo che Diego bisa per bin back riba lo che bisa worry, non sta hasi e choices nan tur dia di vida of morto. Che ben no stur saco del mundo tin miles di gente da morire tur dia di hamburg.
Claro.
Anto sì, non ta na ruba. Sì, però eta passa. E non sta hasi nos mes complice dor di bira wa outra banda di una maniera of outra, pa sobra. Se nenhum gente não põe atenção na SAI e então sigue passa e ora que é a diferença entre SAI e coronavírus abre a fronteira na back então laga cos let things happen the way they're supposed to happen.
But don't you think that's the hidden biggest challenge anyways? The gap that's becoming bigger and bigger between poor and rich people? I think
In reference to what? Yeah.
you know, looking worldwide right now, what's happening is the fact that the gap between rich and poor becomes bigger due to the corona crisis.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I don't think we pay enough attention to it, especially also not on Aruba.
Yeah.
I do think we, indeed, I do think we, you know, we try to be a little bit like, hey, you know, everything will be okay again. But looking at the numbers, and you know, some of us are part of Happy to Give Back of CD Aruba. We see the numbers every day, and it's growing. And to be honest, we're paying no attention.
Zero attention.
Exactly. We should pay more attention to it,
But why do you think
especially.
people are not paying attention to it?
You know, because
They're
first of all, it's
They don't want
many reasons.
I don't want to.
Yeah,
No,
they
pero
want to.
The economic system.
No, it's also uit het oog, uit het hart. No, si abo no ta directamente envolvi com o problema of com o hene nang, bota por bakeda eta tristo pa bisa, pero sina no sta, no? Si bonota wake problema of nota afectado directamente, bonota
maneira
dune.
que não notine.
Aha, correct.
Dus i tame hene to keda pusha purba maneira ku não po like so going above na means tame. Mas toch nota.
You know, to be honest, I'm not sure about you guys, but during the corona crisis, of course, you start thinking, okay, what can I do right now to contribute to a better world?
Oh yeah.
And for me, it was really to pay attention to the most vulnerable on the island. Because once you do that, you will also take care of the future of your economy. Because, you know, we can get a lot of tourists, but if our island becomes, the gap on our island becomes too big, the
Nós
people
temos outro problema.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we need to pay attention to it right now.
Yes.
And that will help us all towards the future.
Sì. I agree.
And
Sì, pa sobra bota haya é mesmo problema. A trobe bota bisa Aruba tá famoso pa sobra turista tá body impressão que Aruba tá super safe.
Yeah.
Kiko tá passa ore gap aqui que cresce.
Yeah.
Ito bira mais perigoso. Turista mino que jinx nos, pero ora bota papi di isla ng manera Jamaica ku Santo Domingo, ora ko turista na yega nang bisa nang kita nem hotel.
Claro.
E tu hotel nang ta,
Sì,
sì, bono maksali fe di propriedad pa sobra ku eta mucho peligroso.
Tourist area and non-tourist
Ah,
area.
correcto. Se Aruba perde, como Aruba nos lo perde, e un cos
Feeling.
Kuta pone turista sinti na mes comodo riba nos isla. Então, é importância de purba ter
Sim,
a gap
gap.
mais chiquito quanto possível.
Maar, but Bianca, then the question that I have for you is, so you having that thought already and being so aware of it, what is for you then a possible solution? I mean, we don't want to put solution in anybody's mind, anything like that, but it's good to think about it because indeed, as you mentioned, the ones who are not poor are going to become poorer, and the poorer become poorer, and then your middle class survives, and then you have the ones who makes ends meet or have a good income, they have a good income. So then indeed, like you mentioned, the gap is going to become bigger, but then what is for you then a possible solution that we should think of?
I think Diego wants to answer that.
Like I want this. So during the Democratic primaries, there was this Asian American guy running for president, right? Andrew Yang, and he had this thing called the freedom dividend, right? And then ultimately, when we look at it and how our economy works here, we could have something like the ocean dividend, something like this, where we make sure that everybody has money to spend within the economy ultimately, so that you have a business, you have somebody that actually can buy your products, because right now there's a very small percentage of the population
very small
that can buy take out and deliveries and go to a restaurant. But somehow, if we are able to keep that money here, make sure that it's enough that people can live and can have a good, decent life, and that most of that money doesn't leave the island like it does now. A lot of the people that have a good salaries, they go out on vacation to Miami, they go and buy everything on Amazon, they go and that money just keeps leaving us. It doesn't stay here. But there's kind of
all the profit is going out.
It goes out back.
It doesn't even get here.
No.
They pay there.
From there.
Yeah.
So how do we make sure that at least we have some of the people that are left behind, that they can't, that they're working washing dishes and they don't make the tips that the person that's up in the front, serving people makes, right? How do we make sure that ends up a little bit better without? Because again, so then you come up into socialism.
That's what I was about to say.
And for me,
gearing on it.
For me, you have to do the opposite. You need to make sure that somebody can pay for your stuff. If you want to work and make a business, you're gonna be much better off because you have people that buy your stuff.
Right.
And that I think that's it's a broad conversation. I think the US is leaning towards that at the moment.
I think that deserves a show on itself.
It's a big show.
Sure. Especially
with one magic word in it.
What is it?
Circular economy.
No, UBI.
UBI. See,
It's your universal basic income. It's a tough, it's a very lately academic type of thing. That's why Yang was saying the freedom dividend. Alaska do it. In Alaska, they do it with the oil money. Just give it to
one
people.
of the reasons to rin papiando over the UBI, tapos sobra ko, everybody's talking about AI, artificial intelligence, is gonna take away everybody's jobs. Então nós não temos outra choice que vai over the sistema de UBI. That's completely different than the coronavirus crisis.
Pero tinha mesmo intonation.
Tinha mesmo an intonation when you see what the United States did and what most of countries are doing with all the subsidies on salaries, subsidies on people that didn't even have a salary. How
long does the government keep that up?
They can't keep that up for very long.
They can't keep that up for very long.
Yeah.
Correct.
Mit yung pari dinos seguidor na riba social media ko yung pari komentaryo.
Sì, ma escucha.
Mit yung gente ta punta kinang nossa lesa ku ora kung arubiano sali fe aruba bimbek no suppose by 12 mang den quarentena pero un turista ta 30 inoti by den quarentena.
Sì. È verdade, sì?
Mi non sa.
No.
Non sa? Non è verdade?
No, mas não te paga turista te paga para fazer teste e não te paga para seguro, right?
Sim.
Seguro per dag of zo.
Sim.
Pero mi non sa.
No, ma è stato un commentario come Alessandro riba.
No, ma capiva un po' di mente presbisando con un residente nome se vai in quarantena na minha.
Correcto.
Sì, happen like un po' vari ore passato.
This is part of that this is the problem that we're having with this bombardment and just overflow of information and everything going via WhatsApp lately is that it's hard for people to say what's real, what's not. The amount of plot all these conspiracy theories that I see day in and day out. Lately, it's like, and from a lot of people that I say, wow, really? Because and you say, wow, okay. I'm one of the most skeptical people that I, but there's some that are going really far into it. So.
Um outro.
Het único message sa haya.
No, patalo.
Nós temos dois channel tá streaming live.
Okay. Nós temos outro canal. Estudiante. Ma bisa mi docente como tá stock aqui nang, ela bisa mi, wow, that's a great place to be stuck at. It is options to download, no?
Oh yeah, not a bad place.
I want me to wonder, no?
Students.
See, no?
comment kung aqui hotel em pessoa que vive na América na
North Carolina.
North Carolina. Ito bisa mate na no mag die drenta po kamer te dia ko check out elevator 4 hendes so mag bar ng sing stoel e no buffet.
Você tá na América?
Na América. Sim.
Aqui nakikiregaling no te ore pe hotel.
Tem algo po niya sine in place or
No.
sa tem policies na
Nós temos meter e meio, segundo meio e meio, não? Mas tá algo opcional, cada negócio depende se não quer FC ou não. Bar não sempre se manter meter e meio. Sabe que é vervelend. Botem pareja que dormia a noite junto. E já tem na bar, e na mesa sinta meter e meio para outro.
Tá, dus asa se todo mundo vai se
Cada stoel, sim.
Okay.
Que man, sim. It's very difficult. Na final, nós turta adulto, nós mesmos por manejar nós mesmos, you know? We're not little babies, you know.
Sì. Last
Nossa coisa para DJ van tevoren, nós temos que make sure que
Yeah,
nosso
it's up to us,
behavior
yeah,
tá
of course.
okay.
less government, more a nós mesmos responsabilidade, right?
Tá, mas
Tá boa responsabilidade para
Josie,
boa para
stop
cada
the braça,
coisa.
Hende, please.
Please,
I
Josie.
just saw this in the UK this week. They have support
Você não
bubbles,
abraçar-me tampouco, yeah?
where if you're a single person living alone, you can register with the government to have a support bubble mate. Basically, somebody else is living by them, and then you can go out with that person together.
Bubble.
But you have to be exclusive.
Okay. Oh, you can't be switching partners
you
and
can't
stuff.
be in the
30 days, 30-day contract.
Coming and say,
Proeftijd.
Mr. Improve
Ecco, si è venuto boring.
Maar waar com outro post out quando anda pensando na Holanda para fazer 1.5 meter distância, lei.
Wow.
Sim.
Wow.
Sim, que quando está pensando.
Kung ang tabasi studentenavond, ora que birja ta
Não,
€1.
pero
Of waarom komen ze beben tegen die maas en ze
No, pero
It's
mes-
like,
it's not gonna happen.
just look at teenagers walking around. What are you gonna do?
Recently, kindergarten, ahora.
Correcto.
Kung emocionanta na pone turcos in place. E desse simaya emocionanta mane all over the place.
Yeah.
Para que como atrás de lá, tipo, so Diego cabe papi over the conspiracy theories que tu
Absolutely.
Agora nossa papi over the, sim, agora boa oportunidade para trazer cambio.
Sim.
Anto é conspiracy theories não bisa, essa aqui tá planeando. Sim, essa aqui, the New World Order, não tá planeando coisa que acaba. Agora ele tá bem bem para você não mais com outro mais. Que bem, it works both ways.
Yeah.
Bom momento para fazer bom cambio e no mesmo momento também me tá há gevoel em hora door die espanto quando
Claro.
está fazendo uma decisão que tá eigenlijk tiki
Irrational,
overdreven.
sim.
Maar nee.
Ja, sinceramente, mesmo is nog não nós está COVID free.
Sim.
Para Kiko.
No, para mim não vai ding.
Sim,
Back in naam sobre mim toda haie tiki hilaris. Orgo não toda pode nos dentro nos casos me bor.
Sim.
E gente dia durante o dia, tur gente tá
Na beach.
dentro supermercado. Supermercado
Sim.
vira um lugar de pegar a gente.
Sim.
Mim todo vai supermercado, de repente me carro de linha só com mi garoto me lá. E produto de mi garoto. Ei, conta.
Disi mahal.
Mata ka na beer.
Pero sa iba haya, no? Kung boto ta bay gis pa boting, basta ita worldwide sigumi fenomeno ela bira ku supermarket bira that place to go. Kasi naabing tame kung make sure ko ta bay solo biyaha. Ame ba sigumi sheng? Like, oh my God, malupit ang coffee. Kahit sempre bakabi, saan mo si malupit algo. Mabing kung ba tukos, kung misarabing kumpro minahiba. E tapos so, bunta wahin. So it's like, hey amiga, kumbay. Quando sempre, konta.
Controller, tawag si Bot 32 viajes. No,
Sí. I'm like, malupit ay keshi, mi mak. Pero may takilitin tamaka mas nostahin ng extremadamente na Aruba. Para papa especificamente Aruba, humans portanto, nostahin ng extremadamente pega of gustumbra, of nos gusta genegenheid. Dus nos gusta social, gusta I'm a hugger, I'm sorry. Ino po yuda. May tingin mo na extra hugger. Pero basta ito ko asan no sa ay kumbay ito. Sí, amor ko boting towards bo friends namin na po imaginayin para sa bosali. Hi, inotabay ko mi art. Pamibay sali ko bo, so miwabo sa dileo to bebe sali 8 years like virtually like mita kita mi kas. Ino sa via Zoom or something. That is so true. Pero open mind. Pero eta mita kerta un coco nos me porta. Bom me porta sai na king ng tour po tabay brasa porta. Mo dai random bay brasa hene ko wak tab sali fe di un hotel like hey, let me hug you. Ano dai pasa pero eta paso no sa kumisa show que sei tama ko eta hene ko porta komodo kune. Misa ko boso no tigna.
Eta cómoda que persona pero bo não sabe.
Den bo achterhoofd, dus nos vai virus, nos tabay junto den quarantine.
Pero tem roupa turista assim, né? Roupa turista binta para sábado chega.
Aboso seguro.
Absolutamente. Tem turista nang quando vindo 10, 15, 20 anos, 30 anos Aruba, promecos com a nacional waba, da dá um braço grande, you know, they're really exactly.
Sì, e você bota por alpa indústria de restaurante. Kora nossa warolang turismo abira as na het pa sa nossa hena amicable. Anto relasyon ko turismo solamente ko is a business transaction. Here your dinner you pay off or here boy room na elabirong ko na abira friends.
So, esta tradisyon pa for by no restaurant. Bo wake mesmo hena nang bo favorite bartender bo waiter favorito.
O waiter po tem 10 anos trabalhava no estabelecimento.
No, it's funny, porque a mama que me matava tempo na azul, então team inanan, tem família team esta ding playa lina, então it's like seasons in and out. Daí não cresce com o restaurante em caso, aqui sei não conhece manager anya, não conhece full família, não conhece bartender to the point por na chega tur costa rond die anta hang rond die bar anta have dinner ku e mesmo team de Azuro nanta by beach anta by Sally anto e team tabay bisitana na New York or what not.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anto e bond ta impossible na bin Sally, should I hug you or not? So how are we going to go to go through that?
In the end, that's I think we had enough time to figure out how to live with this, and we're all adults, like you said, in this. And if you know the risk that if I'm gonna hug somebody, I know the risk that that person could have it or not, and that person also knows the risk, then at least we're educated enough to take that decision. As long as we. And then this becomes the other side of the coin. As long as we don't overwhelm the hospital and the whole thing, we should be able to make those
calls,
informed decisions and calls, right? It's part of what makes us human, no?
Ultimatamente, met keren ze usa common sense. Se bota wako hindi ta mustra malo, of ta tossando, of ta has a runny nose. Great, it's a good
1.5 meters.
É uma boa ideia para ter distância. Toch? Porque vem turnos lógica e
na boa mesmo behavior que nós está sendo para curva de avoid contato.
Nós está 5 minutos over de meu bolso.
Sim, e produz da maneira bailando, media hora.
Una sign.
So me que na cada vez chance, promeco nos será. Nós temos Master Control Leader. Inantanera fazendo signs com cozinha de hora, não sabes? Óbvio.
Me não mind sigue, pero
tempo da bula, ora
boss.
Sim.
Time flies when you're having fun, right?
Sim.
Pero me quer no supo passar um round, então geef mee, me quer sair tema da hobby importante para a comunidade completo, então de forma geef mee advice para a comunidade, na cada pessoa mirando nós agora aqui na tem pergunta, me esperamos para contestar cada de bo incertidumbre or questions. If you have more questions, feel free para comment below the nos live stream. Vou sempre inbox nos, WhatsApp nos, e nos will make sure some way somehow para gather information your way. Pero quem vai começar?
Sempre depois do show não tá, nós também põe links, artículos na etc. riba nas páginas, vos para follow, se lesa. Incluyendo conspiracy theory, ¿no?
Nos fact
tengo que dar open mind, tribunal.
Open mind.
Sí. No, a mí lo que me quiero ver está a mí te quiere que Aruba mester happy su frontera, ¿no? Entonces, la discusión que nos arriba ahorita should we or shouldn't we, y a mí te quiere que echt si nos taxinti, que nos está claro y bom preparar, definitivamente nos cinco has toma stap. Minuto wa com outra opção que será mestreta ao mita querer que tá hobby devastador para hobby companhia e não companhia só família, tudo rende em algemeen. Que minha opinião tá sim, nós temos que abrir back. E purba de ter body control, usa bo sentido comum, corda riba ture regla nan di higiene na, drill nan de nos cabeça tres luna largo, lava mo man. Mantende lava mo man na shade diferente
Sa
idioma.
kompanister também,
Sim. No, Nister. Den alebo. Dus ja, zij me take away. Zij me take away.
Okay. Bianca?
Bianca?
No, I actually only want to add to that I agree fully with what Diego said earlier. It's not they or us, it's we. And I think we should do this. So, yeah.
Definitivamente.
Daniel?
Mita pensa, sim, sinceramente, porque mita quer me consejo, se não se vai dor de tudo essa aqui de último 3-4 anos, mita quer importante para toda gente, não vai back na mesmo pensamento, maneira de viver de antes. Se vai back na mesmo tempo de antes, it wasn't worth it until Dios lo sabe que pasa que se vai second wave. Que man, mita quer tu não estás mais consciente, bota plano para really new normal, economicamente, hygiene wise, you know, all this kind of stuff. Então I think we should be good.
Diego?
Yeah, same. Of course, I think opening is it's inevitable ultimately, but it's more about how much do we trust ourselves into making the right decision? How much do we educate ourselves into making sure that we can be protected against this thing? You know, it's gonna come anyway, and protect the people that we love by our own actions. Right? I think that's what's most important. More than we have to follow this rule or yes or no, is use a little bit of common sense into making sure that we protect the people we love.
Ja, mi pensa mesmo coisas Diego te disse que mesmo bem fora de nós mesmos estamos, para nós não queda guarda ou aqui como por exemplo governo tá assim, ok, se aqui new rule, ok, nós temos assim, right? Nós temos que pensar para nós mesmos também e o sim, o acon is it safe para mim vai sair se aqui ou tá muito cerca ou so
Ten en cuenta que boting gente grande também.
Exactly.
Se boting gente grande também na bocas, sa é risco.
É risco Kiko bota tomando.
Correct. And if I may close on a little bit that I forgot there is we should also be very tolerant, I guess, in that not everybody's going to have the same idea that we have as what is the right way to protect ourselves and protect others. So I think that's a good thing that we all need to understand is I may think that wearing a mask is the best thing for everybody, and if somebody's not wearing it, it's not necessarily that they're ignorant or no. It's just a different way of going around it. They may be washing their hands 20 times a day. They may be, taking tests or whatever else. We just never know what's going on in other people's shoes.
Correct.
So that's
Kuda
important.
hibami na punto ko Zena abisa si Ma'am pasading tema no. Elabisa ko importante ta ko we can agree to disagree and to still viva junto y hang junto hang and to be friends and to enjoy sing Mr. No, sin brazo pero hope difícil.
Nós vamos fazer virtual hug.
Vamos fazer group hug. Pero atan
Sorry.
é que me justa basta.
Eu estou para home
Magyan
draw.
pumasok siya. Pero all in all, mita kere pa add on at kada di boso mika bisa boso meaning iboso support pa community ta komunera Bianca bisa. You should agree on this. Ako ito kodi okay, gobyerno ta by handle, DFH ta by handle, and to whatever company ta by handle. No, at kung nós temos conjuntamente como comunidade, mis cos conjunto nos stop diplome, junto nos cinco sali foi just aqui também, sei que men Depende no momento ng aqui borders no abre completo, sei que men support all your local businesses, provecha. I mean, if you have something to some spare change, please share sa yung tiki kubo komunidad. Donate na happy to give back. Hiba food sa paket, I don't know, portabo bisinha bonosa. Hiba share that sandwich ko bahasi.
Enjoy a pizza de Jacinco Florin.
I mean,
Tem que dia da pali do Daniel.
I mean,
Your airport happy.
Derde of Juni.
pero mas ko turcos, basta, nos tengo support outro, nota é momento para quebrar outro, e para make sure que você stay as healthy as ever. Se ba começar den COVID season com corrimento, please keep it, anto para porque mais saúde possível. E com essa aqui, Danny, me que agradecido. Hopi, danke. Pa portar aqui na presente. Siguro tá hopi great pa nos se de second edition sa ting abo como nos invitar para compartilhar com nós também de outra perspectiva as o Kiko e COVID season na unfold para a indústria como também como está o aqui futuro. E on that note, maneco Elton acaba de mostrar of tende, la acabou tende que não se chega a trover.
Me quero também extender uma invitação para o próximo show mais adiante de futuro. Sim, nós vai papo over de dois pilar econômico.
No problem.
Yes.
No problem.
Botei seat permanente.
Sim.
Para com você.
E se você assim discutir any topic que nos não toca e você from your end você hey, this is something we should talk about, feel free para share com nos tour e nós também share para nos abrir mente e não convencer para plantar semente para turnos nos fam e fona.
Open-minders.
Nos open-minders. Me quero dizer cada de vocês com a live stream via Bo Superstation Canal 90 como também Open Mind Aruba, se bo a join Open Mind Aruba so group. Se bo no ahasi e Paula ina please do, ta importante pa nos ting cifras ni tambe pa sa kiko abot a pensa and where we're at como comunidad. E se você tem any tema para que você quer mandar nos, você pode mandar nos um private message, você também manda via WhatsApp via 5689000, você pode para any of us que você wag na emesa aqui nana. E nós make sure para poner rivaliza de tour e tópico ng candela que nós tem preparado para você. Então espera com open mind para actually donar tiki support na bo pensamento ng ipas na forma aqui nos por junto nenda bisa hasi aruba grita trove
Aruba grita trove.
Eu não quero say to the right. No, Josie. Wow.
Danke Josie, danke, boa noite Turende.
Danke
Danke. Boa noite.
Boa noite.